What's up, everybody? I'm George, and this is Marvelous Statues, the show where we get to unbox and review some of the coolest statues and collectibles known to man. And on today's episode, I am pretty pumped because we are doing another unboxing and review, this time though, of an XM Studio statue. And it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm pretty excited, It's been a while since I've done an unboxing. So, I'm pretty pumped to see this one. This is the XM Studios Catwoman, so stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. As I stated before, this is the XM Studios Catwoman. Now this is part of the Batman Samurai line, the Knight of the Rising Sun, I think is what that line is called. So it's kind of a bittersweet for me. I used to own the Knight of the Rising Sun Batman, but it didn't fit with my collection, I felt. I thought it was a really good looking piece, probably up in the top 5 pieces that XM Studios has made to date. So I thought at the time, and I still think that way though, I like the piece a lot. I think it's a great statue and something that if you are very much into, you should pick up. You won't be disappointed with that piece. But I'm more of a classic Batman, so I traded up, got rid of that one, and I picked up this Batman right here. I like the blue and gray suit personally. That's who I grew up with. So I had this one on order when I had that statue. And now, it came in finally. It's been a while that when I ordered it. So, for that, it is a little bit of a bittersweet thing, like I stated, because this one's not actually going to stay in my collection. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to review it, show you guys what I think about it. And then, it's probably going to go up for sale. That's probably what I'm going to do with this one. Or we'll figure something else out. I don't know. I'll let you guys know when I get there. But, without further ado, let's pop this baby open and we'll see what she looks like. So let's get to it. All right. Alright, so just to let you all know, this is one heavy ass box. The box and the statue together weigh 61 pounds. It is very hefty. So, you got to work smart when you're trying to lift something like that. So I had some help to bring it upstairs. And then you saw how I unboxed it. I basically had to flip it because, this guy's got some weight, I don't got big arms to be picking this thing up all by myself. Alright, so like the Batman statue before it, it has a more colored box, which is different from the other XM Studios boxes. If you've seen other reviews that I've done, most of the XM Studios boxes come in all black. Just like all of them, this one is a hard case, to protect the statue. That's why, they're known for having, very good shipping when it comes to these pieces. They always come undamaged. I haven't heard of anybody that's received an XM Studios piece that's come broken. So, that's a plus with them. This one, like I said, has a more colored background. So for Catwoman, it's got a purple. Batman had a grayish background. On the sides, it said DC on it, and then you have XM Studios right here. Also in the box looks like the instructions on how to put her together. You guys can see that here. So I'll give you guys some close-ups on that. So you get the instructions. And you get an art print, like you do with all of the XM Studios pieces. One of my favorite things about XM Studios is receiving these art prints. I think that they look phenomenal. So, let's see what this one looks like. Alright, so there she is. This is your art print that you get with the XM Studios piece. So, she looks very pretty. Yeah, really like the way that looks. I kind of wish that they would have went with more of a wide format for this one because, she's on a motorcycle. So it would have been kind of cool to get the entire bike in there, not just the angle like this is here. But, you get a free art print, so, can't complain too much about that. And it's done very nicely. I think it looks really good. All right. So let's get her out of the box. And if you're hearing my kids in the background, that's because they're loud and I got kids. So I really can't do anything about that. So, but all right, let's do this. Let's get this pretty baby out of the box. Alright, this is what you come to expect from XM Studios. You get the strapping on the styrofoam, so that's good. That's always very good. Holy crap. Yo, this base is massive. I mean, humongous. This thing is huge. No wonder this thing weighs so much. It's like all base. Oh my goodness. So, here is your base. Look at this thing. Look at the size of this base. It's insane. It's freaking insane. Alright, so on the bottom, they only made 900 of these pieces. This is number 48 of 900. So it's a nice low number. It says Catwoman on the bottom. Yo, she looks hot. It's huge. The base in itself is 24 inches wide from here to here. That's your width of that base. And then you got a depth of 13 and a half inches. So this thing is quite big. Looks good, but it is very, very big. Extremely big base. All right. So let's get the motorcycle out. And the motorcycle, oh my God, this thing is humongous. Woo! This thing is big. This thing's big. Okay. And they got a little indent in the street where the wheel goes. So there it is. This is very cool. It's got a chain, a real fuel chain to the bike. Looks like you got real springs right there. That looks like metal. I think this is a metal bike. So, wow. That is pretty impressive. Very impressive look to this bike. Very cool. All right. All right. So there goes your front of the bike. Has a little bit of wiggle to it. There's just a pin that holds it. So it's not going anywhere, but it does wiggle from side to side a little bit. But a motorcycle would do that too, so you know, that's acceptable. All right. And then there's some side mirrors. So this bike pretty much comes completely disassembled. These also have very, very tiny pins. So I'm actually going to go on this side. I mean, these are extremely tiny pins that it has. So the mirrors, they don't really show how they go in there. Which that kind of bites. All right, that took a long time to get in there. Not really feeling the way the mirrors go into the head of the motorcycle, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so then 2, 4, so 4. So next part is this is cool. So the motorcycle helmet has like these, I guess you would say like back guards or neck guard. on the back. That's pretty nice. All right, so this just sits right up on top of here. There's a magnet that holds it in place. So it sits up there like that. All right. No, she goes this way. Very pretty body, like the sculpt of that. That looks really good. That butt. Damn. All right. She looks good. All right. So she just sits right over the bike. They say to put the cat in first, but I don't think the cat should go in first. To put her in first makes more sense to me. Okay. She's there positioned right on the bike. Get the cat back. Here we go. All right. So the belt is rope, basically here, or the whip. I mean. Okay. And you got the hands in her heads. Okay. So. Look at that. All right. Finally. Okay. Huh. All right. So yeah. So I'm gonna say that of all of the statues I've put together, and I've put together now quite a few, this was probably my least favorite putting together. She's a little difficult. Pieces that I felt like up here in these two side mirrors, they're delicate, very small pins that go in them. So that's a little bit scary for me. The way that this sword fits into her back, it's pretty tight. You got to kind of wiggle it in. And then I wasn't really thrilled having to rope the belt around her waist. And I don't think I really did a good job of doing that anyway. But yeah, so a little scary putting this one together. So let's get it a little over, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are on this piece now that I'm actually seeing it in person. All right, so let's check this out. Guys, we're back. It's a whole day later. I waited an entire day to do the review on this, is because after I assembled this thing, I was gassed. It was late last night. I had a little bit of trouble putting it together. The unboxing and assembly of this thing was close to 46 minutes, and I needed a break. I didn't think that I could really give it the opportunity to look it over and give my honest opinion to you guys yesterday. So, I've been looking at it most of the day today, and I'm ready to talk about it. So, full things that happened to me. I received this piece, and there were some QC issues with it. I had a couple scratches in her skin on the chest area, a scratch on the motorcycle, and then the areas here where the bike has kind of like a clear coat to the paint. It feels like they didn't include that at the bottom. There's some areas down here where I feel like the clear isn't even on there. So I contacted XM Studios, and wouldn't you know it, man, Brian Tan got a hold of me, and the dude is super nice. I can't say enough good things about him. He told me he's gonna take care of it, and I'm hoping to get the replacement pieces soon. So I think that's awesome. I'm happy that he contacted me, and we're probably gonna get that resolved. So cool stuff there. So let's talk about the piece then. Leaving that stuff out, because stuff happens, man. All companies, these things don't come perfect. They always have some kind of little nuance, but they're expensive. And when you get something like that's evident, like you could see, like on her chest, then it's hard to ignore. So but let's not focus on that. Let's talk about the statue. All right. So she is a pretty big piece. This is a big statue here, guys. So if you want to display her, you're going to need about 25, close to 25 inches of space, a little over that. I'd say like 25 and a half to 26 inches in space width-wise. So this is from the back of the tire here to the front of the fender here. Depth, you're going to need about... I think I measured this base, which is where the width is at, like at 13 inches, about 13 and a half inches in depth. And then as far as height goes, let's do two measurements here. So she is roughly 17 inches tall, and you get like about another inch and a half down here. So you need roughly about 18 inches in height to get her into a display. So that's something you guys want to keep in mind. Also, she's quite heavy. The entire box with the statue was right around 61 pounds. Her by herself is about 31, 32 pounds. So it does have a lot of weight to it. I'm not going to take and put a scale on it to be exact, but you figure it's going to be between 30 and 40 pounds easy just to put her on a shelf. So that's something else that you might want to consider. All right, so the statue. So the base, let's start off from the base, work our way up like we do. The base is cool. You got a street, right up on the curb next to a paved sidewalk. I'm guessing this is what we're looking at here. And you have like a manhole cover, which is really cool. I like the detail in that. I think sculpt-wise, this entire statue is done very well. So I think, sculpting looks really good. It looks like you're on the emergency lane, or... I guess what you want to call it, the parking lane on the streets here. This is a Japanese-inspired piece, because she's a member of the line of the Night of the Rising Sun. So this is a Batman-inspired piece that is unique to XM Studios, where it has kind of like a Japanese flair to it. So you have like a samurai Batman. I used to own that one. That one looks badass. Probably, in my opinion, one of the top 5 of the XM Studios pieces. And then everybody in his universe here has all of this type of Japanese theme. So you have a very clean street. After being in Japan, I could honestly say you could almost eat off the streets in that city. In Tokyo, I thought that it was the cleanest city I've ever been in my life. So, that's cool that, this has that inspiration there. I do feel, though, that, I wish they would have went a little bit more with it. The street, I feel, is too clean. There's no areas of like puddles or, the feeling of that, cars have been driving on this. That, that's something that I would look for in a road. Otherwise, it just has, the look of newness to it, And I think that's something that could be said about the entire statue altogether. So, there's no spots on here of, damage or, mud puddles, divots in the road, something like that. I think would have been kind of cool to have. The manhole cover here on the base, I think, is really neat. That's a nice touch. I like that it has this design going on there. There's like waves and then a sun in the back, which I think is cool. So that's really neat. The cat on the bottom is cool because, she's Catwoman and she always rolls with a cat. So I think that's really nice. Although I feel like the cat doesn't have a lot of detail in the sculpt of her. It's kind of just, just a cat, this plain cat. Granted, at this distance, when you're looking at the piece, I don't think that you would see much detail in the fur. There are some areas here where they've sculpted it in a little bit. So there is some slight, waviness into the sculpt. But overall, the cat looks more or less smooth. And, it's pretty much just one color. So it's just black. It has yellow eyes and that's about it. So I like how he's walking around, or she's walking around. I can't tell if it's a male or female. But walking around her foot, and I like how the tail is rolling like that. It gives it a nice little dynamic appeal to it. So, that's kind of cool. So then moving on into the motorcycle. The motorcycle is sculpted very awesomely. It has a really cool futuristic appeal to it. I love that about the bikes. This is my second motorcycle that I've seen from XM Studios, and I think that they do fantastic work with that. So I haven't got a chance to see the Ghost Rider up close and personal, but my friends who've told me that they've had it, they said that shit is dope. So, this is about the same. Really cool looking piece. I think that this is an entirely metal motorcycle. I'm pretty sure that it is. It's heavy. Areas on here like the brakes. This is definitely real metal. The rotors. And then you have the brake pads. You even have the brake lines that go to the brake pistons. To give it fluid. So when you apply the brakes, they close and open. So I think that's cool. They thought about that. Engine-wise, it looks like a real engine. All of the different exhaust ventilation and everything that it has going on. Even the chain in the back of the wheel is real. So I think that is really cool. So awesome job done with the look of the motorcycle. I think that looks excellent. Again, with the paint, I think that they didn't really push the envelope too much. The tires don't really give you the feel that this thing has been driving on the road. It looks very clean, very new. So, I think that is a little bit lacking as far as character that they could have brought to the piece, to show that, she's had the motorcycle for a while, and, I think that would be something cool to see. Same thing goes also with the paint on the body. I would expect to see some kind of like dirt or some kind of wear to indicate that this motorcycle is in use. So that's that. The side mirrors here, if you saw the part of the unboxing, they're very difficult to put on because they have very small pins and it's extremely delicate. In mine, I don't know if this is in all of them, that as I haven't seen anybody else do a review yet, the right side mirror here has a smaller pin than the left side. So the left side slides in very nicely and it holds its spot, but the right side mirror on mine is kind of loose. So that's one thing that I did complain to XM Studios about, and I'm hoping that maybe that is something that could be remedied. The helmet that she uses is awesome. I mean, I think it looks really cool. Has a really futuristic look to it. I like the yellow eyes in it. I think that's really cool, and it has that whole cat feeling. So I wish that the helmet was an option for a head piece, like they could have had a portrait like that. I think that would have been kind of cool. Maybe like with her pulling the helmet off or something. I don't know how that would have worked, but it would have been kind of neat because I like the way the helmet looks, especially since it has these like neck shields in the back, which I think is kind of neat. Gives it a samurai type of feel to it, but looks futuristic too. And it's held on by a very, very strong magnet, so you don't got to worry about it going anywhere. Moving on into Catwoman herself, I like her pose. She looks very sexy. I like how they have her balanced here on her right arm, against the fuel tank of the motorcycle. So I think that looks really cool. The folds in the outfit look, realistic. It looks awesome. I like how you have the contrast of the texture in her boots, juxtaposed to the way that the pants look very smooth. So I think that looks really nice. The boots look really cool. They have nice line work going on in them, and it's very sculpted in. So it has these, really cool etchings into the boot itself. Nice high heels. So that looks really cool. And you got to give it up for that butt, man. That butt is sexy as hell. Look at that. Love it. Love that part. That's got to be my favorite part. Well, I think if I had to display this, I would definitely display it this way.
And I'm going to let you know, it ain't your booty. It's your beauty.
Top that she's wearing matches with the boots. It has different types of texture going on in there to, again, give you more contrast. And I like the way that her hands are positioned. You get 3 options for the left hand. So you have one where she has, the hand kind of covering her breast. Pop that out right there. You have another hand like this, which allows for you to hold a purse of stolen jewelry. You can have her like that, which I think is cool, or you don't have to even use that. You could just play it like this. And then the last hand is, and again, these are held by really strong magnets. You can see that I'm pulling pretty toughly on it. You can have the hand that way, which I think you can also put the jewels in the hand too if you wanted to do that also. So, you could do that too. And that looks pretty good. So 2 options there like that. I still prefer the one where it's covering her breast like that. I think that looks, pretty hot. So, all right. Skin tone, I think, is nice. It has a realistic looking skin tone to her, but it has, one color going on. I don't feel like they went into too much shading. And I think that about the entire statue altogether, it's kind of like they picked the color for one part and they went with that color. It's very clean. There's no areas where you have like wayward lines or anything like that. I think they did a good job there. Everything except in the face. I think in the face is the one place where they actually did, go all out, which I think looks awesome. The portraits on this one look fantastic. 2 of them, especially. One of them I'm not such a big fan of. This is one of my favorite portraits. I really love the way the lips look. It has a nice gloss to it. She has her mouth somewhat open, so it gives her kind of like sexy appeal there. She has the domino mask going on and has that gloss to it, which gives it a nice contrast to the matte skin. I love the makeup in her eyes. Gives a nice eyeshadow and shading there, which is really cool. She has her cat ears and then these pins that she has in her hair. I think they look pretty interesting. And the hair is also done very well. It has a nice dynamic look to it. So other options for portraits is this one here with a little more hair going on. So you have to take and kind of maneuver the hand out of the way and put the heads in first for some of these, especially the ones with the longer hair. So you have that there. And I really like this one too. She has biting the lower lip, which is also very sexy. You have a full mask, also nice and glossed out, which contrasts very well. The only thing about this one that makes me not like it as much as the other is the lips don't have as much gloss. So, it doesn't really pop as much. But I love the hair on this one. It's flowing and wild. Gets a more feral look to her. So I think that's kind of cool. And I like how her hair is flowing over the back of her outfit, which I think is good. To me, this is probably the more prettier of all of the portraits because I like the hair down. And that's just my own opinion there. All right. So, and then the last portrait, which these magnets are like extremely strong. The last portrait is this one here. And this one put there like that. All right. So this is her last one. And this one I like the least. She looks like she's thinking about something. I don't know. She has a pretty face, but not necessarily anything that I could say is just, over the top beautiful. Her hair is kind of just laying down straight. There's nothing crazy about it. Yeah, it's not that. And it's not that overpowering to me. It's not something that if I thought about putting it there, that people come in the room and I think they would say, "Ooh, that's Catwoman." That's another thing too. Because this is the only one that's lacking the ears, so it just doesn't scream Catwoman to me. So that's probably the reason why I don't dig this one as much. Same thing with all of the other paint though on this one as well. The hair is pretty much just one color. They didn't really go all out by adding multiple shades in there to give more flair, which I think that could have been added. It's kind of just all black. So I'm looking at the others here too, just to make sure. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much in the way of color. This one here has kind of like a purplish tone to some of the areas, which I think that looks beautiful. So maybe that's also adding me to why I like this one so much. So there she is. The other thing about this too is the belt or the whip. The whip is real fabric material, so it allows for you to rope it around her waist, and then you can, you know, position it the way you want to. I'm not very good at that, so I did my best, you know. But that's what you have there, and that's how the pieces come. So that's basically it. And I just wanted to, you know, give you my 2 cents on it. Overall, I think that the sculpt looks really, really good. She is a very beautiful piece. If you are a collector of the Night of the Rising Sun series, she is a nice addition to the collection. The only thing that I think is lacking in this one here really is the opportunity for some character in the paint. You know, giving some kind of shading, texture through that. You know, something to give us the feeling that, you know, this is really living in life. You know, I feel like this is like a showroom floor motorcycle, and she is, you know, a picturesque model. You know, rather than the you know, cat burglar that goes through the night, you know, and the motorcycle, you know, looking somewhat used. So I think that that's really it. Other than that, I think that the sculpt, like I said, looks really good. So definitely something that, you know, to you know, if you're a collector of the Night of the Rising Sun series, this would probably be something for you. So that's it for my review and the unboxing of the Catwoman statue by XM Studios. I hope you had a good time. I hope you found this informative. And if you did, you know, please give me a thumbs up. You know, and if you're new here, please hit subscribe. Please ring that bell if you want to get notified when we do more videos like this, so that way you know first whenever I come up with something new to put on YouTube. So we do videos quite often, usually try to aim for once a day, but, you know, at minimum we're doing about 4 or 5 a week. So definitely check us out. You can see more of our videos at mcecentral.com, and there you can find a wealth of information on collecting, on movies, on video games, pretty much anything geek related, because that's what we like talking about. So again, we're going to come back at you with more videos just like this, so stay tuned for all of that. And until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.